It's annoying, but it's a bop, and it cannot go on any longer. Hang it up, flat screen. I would have dragged you regardless. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing my top 10 favorite songs from Hannah Montana. But first, I do want to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes on pretty much whatever you want to learn. There are so many creatives and so many people who are coming up with creative class plans that will fit into your life. There's all types of passions that I'm sure you guys have that you can learn more about, or you can develop new passions. I absolutely love Skillshare. I've been taking a class called art journaling, and I have my journal right here. Everyone knows I go everywhere with this thing. I am a big journaler. This class by Amanda Rach Lee, she pretty much walks through art journaling and teaching you how to be an effective art journalist. And that's what I love about Skillshare. Whatever niche you have, whatever hobby you have, you can really take classes on that. And you can take classes in video editing, you can take classes about YouTube, you can take classes about astrology, you can take classes about all types of things that I know you guys are interested in. The good thing about Skillshare is I know you guys get frustrated with ads on YouTube, and Skillshare is curated specifically for learning. So when you do take a class, there are no ads on them. It makes things work smoothly, and it's so easy to fit into your schedule because the classes do go by quite quickly. Skillshare is always launching new premium classes, and for an annual membership of Skillshare, it is less than $10. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Use the link in my description, and yeah, start Skillshare. Skillshare, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, and let's get on into it. I just want to let you guys know I've waited my entire life to make this video. I am so sorry if no one cares, no one wants to watch this. I am so sorry. You guys know I am long past the days of making videos people want to see. I am about making videos that are about the Kenya experience, and this is about the Kenya experience. I love Hannah Montana. I love Hannah Montana, and you want to know something? More than I enjoy Hannah Montana the show, I love Hannah Montana's music the most. That's why I fell in love with Miley Cyrus. You guys know I'm a Miley Cyrus stan. I just love Hannah Montana music. I love Miley Cyrus music. Growing up, I got every single Hannah Montana CD. Like, I still own them. They're somewhere in my closet. I would beg. I remember when Hannah Montana 2/Meet Miley Cyrus came out, and I begged my mom. It was back when CDs came out on a Tuesday. I begged my mom to get the CD for me, and she waited all the way to like the Saturday to get it for me. And those days, waiting from when it came out Tuesday to the Saturday, was excruciating, and I played the hell out of that CD. I played the hell out of that CD. I just love Hannah Montana music. I still listen to Hannah Montana music. I love it. And then the thing about Hannah Montana music is it aged so well. Like, of course, there's still the nostalgia thing. Like, I don't know, because I grew up on the music, I don't know if you could go back and not have heard the music before and like bop the way I be bopping, but the music still sounds good to me. Like, I still listen to them like in the shower, on a car ride. Like, I bump the Hannah Montana. So I decided, because it has been 15 years of Hannah Montana, I was going to rank my 10 favorite Hannah Montana songs. So we're going to take my own personal opinion, how successful they were, and then just like what everyone else thinks, and that's how I'm going to make this list. This is what I feel are the 10 best Hannah Montana songs. Quite honestly, most of these are going to be my personal favorites. Now, before we get into this, there are two albums that I want to just give credit off top. Hannah Montana 3 and the Hannah Montana soundtrack for the movie, the one where The Climb is on, those two albums are criminally underrated when it comes to Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana 3 was kind of where people were fading out of the Hannah Montana thing. Like, Hannah Montana 2 was the Hannah Montana peak, and then Hannah Montana 3 was where people were kind of fading out of like liking Hannah Montana. But Hannah Montana 3, the soundtrack, is so good. It is so freaking good. Top to bottom, so good. So you're going to see the most songs really come off of that. And then the Hannah Montana soundtrack for the movie should have won Academy Awards, should have won all types of things because it is so good. So before we get into my 10, because I am not trying to be here all day, I am simply not, we are going to go into some honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are going to get people upset because I'm sure you guys believe they're supposed to be on the regular list. So number one is If We Were a Movie. If We Were a Movie is like a lot of people's favorite Hannah Montana songs. People who didn't even like watch Hannah Montana, I'm pretty sure know If We Were a Movie. Like, If We Were a Movie is just a Hannah Montana staple. It is not one of my favorite Hannah Montana songs, but it's one of my favorites. It's not my top 10. But If We Were a Movie is an honorable mention. It is so good. It comes from the episode when Corbin Bleu comes on to Hannah Montana. So it's in the first, what, 1-2 episodes of Hannah Montana. So yeah, the next one, a lot of people don't know this. If you have not listened to the soundtrack for the Hannah Montana movie that went to theaters, you don't know this song, but this is one of the best songs Hannah Montana has ever done, and it's Don't Walk Away. Don't Walk Away is so good. Don't walk away when I'm tired getting to you. It is so good. It is such a good song. I was jamming when I was making the list for this. I was jamming to that song. I forgot how much I love Don't Walk Away. Don't Walk Away is good. Another one, which is also from the Hannah Montana soundtrack, I believe, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home. Like I said, the Hannah Montana soundtrack for the movie is so underrated. You Always Find Your Way Back Home is so good. It is so good. It is so good. I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack was criminally underrated. The soundtrack was so good. Next one, this is to me what made Hannah Montana a staple in the household, if you will. Nobody's Perfect. When Nobody's Perfect dropped, I was in the 4th grade. I will never forget. My mom picked me up early from school for some reason, and I went home, and the Nobody's Perfect like video, it really wasn't a video, it was just Hannah Montana. It was Miley Cyrus like being Hannah Montana, like singing the song on stage. That's all it was. But it came on Disney Channel, and I remember the first time, and I was like, this is a bop. This is a bop. And I knew then that there was a new Supreme, and her name was Miley Cyrus. Nobody's Perfect is what catapulted like Hannah Montana into being Hannah Montana. Nobody's Perfect. Many people have tried to copy the Nobody's Perfect formula. Nobody's Perfect is excellent. It's excellent. Is it one of my top 10? No. But Nobody's Perfect has to be in honorable mentions because there would be no Hannah Montana without Nobody's Perfect. Like, Nobody's Perfect like solidified the spot. Like, oh, she's making bops over there. There are bops coming from over there. Next one is from the first Hannah Montana soundtrack, and it's Who Said. Do you know Who Said? Who Said? Who Said? I remember being in 3rd grade, and me and my friends, because my classroom, I don't think had enough desks, so like in my math class, because that's when I started switching classes, I have a story for like all these songs, but we sat in like this little circle table, and it was like me and like 3 other girls, and like we would just sing Hannah Montana songs in math class, learning our like multiplication facts, and like we would just sing Who Said's all the time. Who Said holds a special place into my heart because we used to sing it all of the time when I was in 3rd grade. And the next one comes from the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack, and it's called It's All Right Here. It's All Right Here. I just imagine myself at a Hannah Montana concert, and she starts to show off with It's All Right Here. It's All Right Here is so freaking good. So those are my honorable mentions, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to start from 10 and get to 1. So number 10 is Don't Wanna Be Torn. Don't Wanna Be Torn is from Hannah Montana 3. And Hannah Montana 3, I have said and I will say it again, is the best Hannah Montana soundtrack. And the reason why Hannah Montana 3 is the best Hannah Montana soundtrack is because it's so heartbreaking. Like, Don't Wanna Be Torn is such a sad song. It is such a sad song. Like, so many songs on that album are like genuinely good and genuinely like sad. Like, I could see Miley singing these songs now, and Don't Wanna Be Torn is one of those songs. And Don't Wanna Be Torn, the girl is singing, like Miley was singing on that song. I love Don't Wanna Be Torn because I love the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack, and I just feel like the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack don't get the love it deserves, and Don't Wanna Be Torn is one of the best songs on that soundtrack. Y'all can choke. Next song coming up is also from the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack, and it is Supergirl, because here is the thing. Hannah Montana, she kind of like went away away from her bop days. Like, she wasn't nobody's perfect, but she proved she could still give the girls a bop if she needed to give the girls a bop. And Supergirl is that bop. I'm super. I love Supergirl. I remember with my mom, because this was the last, I don't think I owned Hannah Montana forever. I got my mom to get me the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack. I was in middle school sometime. Probably a little too old to be buying Hannah Montana CDs probably, but I already told y'all I liked Hannah Montana way longer than the normal child like kid shows, even though like I was watching like Flavor of Love and Hannah Montana at the exact same time. Like I was watching Dexter and Hannah Montana back to back some nights. Like my life was crazy. Like no parental controls. Like my parents let me watch almost anything, and that's how I came out like this, like knowing everything about pop culture, because I was watching Hannah Montana 1 minute, Flavor of Love the next, and Dexter the next minute, Bad Girls Club. Like I was all over the place. I was a mess, but I love it. But Supergirl is absolutely amazing, and Supergirl, I believe, is on the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack. Absolutely amazing. Now, number 8 may be a shocker. This is from the first Hannah Montana soundtrack, and I think it's the only one on my list that is on the first Hannah Montana, and it's The Other Side of Me. To me, The Other Side of Me is the best song on that album. I love The Other Side. The Other Side, The Other Side. Like, first of all, I'll just be randomly like doing something, and one of my brothers will just say that, The Other Side. All of my family knows random Hannah Montana songs, because I used to like literally, if like I used to share a room with my little sister, and she like knows every Hannah Montana song, because I literally would take the CD, I had like this karaoke like boombox thing, like, and I would put the CD inside there, and I would like literally just listen to it on repeat before I went to bed at night, like over and over again. All the songs that I like, I would just listen to them over and over and over again on this little karaoke like boombox thingy, and I loved that little thing. And then I would like sing to them if it was like, if I got home from school and nobody was around. Like, I just love doing that. And The Other Side of Me is just bad day. I just loved it. I loved it. I am so sorry. I am a Hannah Montana stan. I am a Hannah Montana stan, because the girl had bops and you can't deny. But The Other Side of Me is my favorite song on that album. I can't sing, by the way, so don't mind my singing. You know, don't drag in the comments. Next is number 7, and it's giving main character, Ordinary Girl. Ordinary Girl is really the only song from the last album I really like. Ordinary Girl, what can I say? Just giving main character. If I had a bad day at school, the girls were on my neck, they were dragging the girl at school, people were bothering me, I would turn on Ordinary Girl and just sit in my room and stare at the window and give main character. And just give main character like I thought I was. Like, I'm just an ordinary girl. Like, everyone is pulling me which away, and I'm just an ordinary girl. Like, come on. Like, and then when she goes to the end, who knows where the wind may blow for an ordinary girl. It's like, yes, I'm giving famous. I'm going to be famous one day. Like, I thought I was giving when that song came on. I thought Miley and them was singing that song for me. Like, yes, ordinary girl, Kenya, one day you're going to be living a life of luxury. That's what I thought. That is what I thought. That is what little Kenya thought was going to be my life when Ordinary Girl came on. Now, this song, Hannah made for the Negroes. Hannah made this song for the Negroes, and it is called Gonna Get This. Let me go look up who's the name of the black guy who is on Gonna Get This, because it was a guy who was popular in that time. I don't remember his name, so I'm going to look it up, because he had a hit song, and we're going to look up what this hit song is. I'm being ghetto. I'm just being so ghetto right now. The name of the guy was Ayaz. Gonna Get This was made purely for the Negroes. That's what I loved about Hannah Montana. On Hannah Montana 3, she gave us like laid back, like singing ballads, vocals. But then she came with Hannah Montana Forever, and Gonna Get This is so excellent. Gonna Get This is so excellent. Like, it just 1, 2, 3, can you smile for a pic? Somebody just said, Hannah, do you already have a man? Cause like, come on. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna sing. I'm gonna sing talk, but like, you don't understand. I will be in my bathroom, which is just right over there, and I be like getting in. I be getting it to these songs. You don't understand. Next one is a more toned back one. We're at number 5, and it is Mixed Up. It is Mixed Up. Mixed Up is from Hannah Montana 3, and like I said, ballads. This one is like really like on the verge of tears. Low key give me main character as well. Like it's just like so sad. Like it's so sad. But I love Mixed Up. There's nothing more that I can say. I just love the reason why I'm making this video is because I want you guys all to appreciate the greatness of Hannah Montana 3. Would I recommend going back and if you still like have love for Hannah Montana music, sure, go back and listen to them. But I'm sure like if you weren't in that time, like it just all sounds like kid music. But back then, Mixed Up had me in my emotions. Next one is from Hannah Montana 2. And it is 1 in a million. Here's the thing. A lot of you are going to ask me why I didn't put like See You Again on here and Girls Night and all those songs. It's because I'm not going to include Meet Miley Cyrus because I low-key consider Meet Miley Cyrus like a Miley Cyrus album because it's all even though Hannah Montana is also all Miley Cyrus, I don't want to, because if I included those, Meet Miley Cyrus would be down the board. See You Again, like come on, like it wouldn't have been fair. It wouldn't have been fair. We were putting Meet Miley Cyrus on this, like please. Anyway, 1 in a million is so good. 1 in a million is like when I realized, oh, like I listened back to the song and like Miley was like a kid. She wasn't giving you vocal. Like she was a kid, but you couldn't tell me the girl wasn't running. When I was 7 years old, 8 years old, you couldn't tell me the girl wasn't giving you runs. Because I thought she was giving you a vocal moment. I look back and it still bops. And 1 in a million still bops. It still sounds good. But she was not giving anything of the sort when it came to vocals. But I thought she was. I really thought she was. Next one is number 3. My top 3, you should already know what's coming in the top 3. If these are not your top 3 favorite Hannah Montana songs, we cannot be friends. We cannot be friends. Because I have absolutely nothing for you. He could be the one. He could be the one. Funerals, graduations, and weddings, okay? That is where they play He Could Be the One at. He Could Be the One is excellent. He could be the one should have played on regular radio. He could be the one. Why is David Archuleta on like every single like kid show? What was the David Archuleta agenda? Like who was his agent? Why was he on like every single kid show of that time? Like did he even win like American Idol? Is that what he's on? Anyways, He Could Be the One is absolutely amazing. He could I remember on the episode she was singing to, I think, what's his name, Jake, like smooth talking. He Could Be the One is excellent. I don't know what to tell you. He could be the one. If that's not in your top 3, like He Could Be the One actually should be like number 1, but my number 1 can't move. This is my number 1 has been my number 1 favorite Hannah Montana song since I heard it for the first time. So it cannot move, but He Could Be the One rivals my number 1. But number 2, the reason why my number 2 is number 2 is because not only is this the number 2 best Hannah Montana song, but like when it comes to impact, Miley's peers do not have a more impactful song, and I hate the word impactful, did not have a bigger song than the Climb. The number 2 is The Climb. And no one has seen The Climb since. Like I said, graduations, funerals, and weddings when it came to He Could Be the One, but The Climb is 100% graduations. Like graduations, The Climb, they should be playing it at every graduation. Like The Climb is literally the epitome of like a song. Like who outdid it? Who outdid it? Like not only The Climb also was snubbed for best song at the Academy Awards, because let's talk about it. I don't know who won best song at the Academy Awards that year, but The Climb should have. The Climb should have. Now there's a whole bunch of like technical reasons why The Climb wasn't like qualified, because I don't believe The Climb was actually made to be on the Hannah Montana movie. It was made to just be a Hannah Montana song, I believe, and then it got to the Hannah Montana. You know how that goes. They just wanted to keep the Queen down. They wanted to keep the Queen Hannah down because there wasn't a song bigger. There wasn't a song bigger that year. The Climb was excellent. The Climb, there's not a single person who don't know The Climb who was in our age range. It went beyond just Miley. It went beyond just Miley. And for this to come in Miley's tail end of being Hannah Montana, like it was just so good. It was just so good. The climb is just so good. She sung it like to Michelle Obama. Like, it was just, the climb was the moment. The climb was the moment. If anyone says otherwise, they're a liar. They're a liar. But number one, you know what number one is. I'm closing my book right now because you know what number one is. Number one is Rockstar. Number one is Rockstar. I might even be a rock star. Rockstar by Hannah Montana, which is on the Hannah Montana 2 soundtrack. Carries the soundtrack. It carries the Hannah Montana 2 soundtrack. It is so freaking good. Who was in their bag? Who was in their bag when they made that? That's what I think about. Like, the fact that Miley was able to do what she did with Hannah Montana. Like, Hannah Montana was a pop star. Like, it wasn't just, oh, Hannah Montana was on a TV show. No, the music was better than the show. The music of Hannah Montana is 10 times better than the Hannah Montana show. And I like the Hannah Montana show for all its work, but the music is 10 times better because Rockstar, they don't make music like that no more. They don't make children's tunes like Rockstar anymore. Rockstar is amazing, like amazing. My favorite Hannah Montana song of all time. I can put it on right now and give you a two-step. I love Rockstar. I love Rockstar. Rockstar is my favorite Hannah Montana song of all time. So, to end this video for 15 years of Hannah Montana, I am going to rank the Hannah Montana soundtracks if you want to revisit them. The best Hannah Montana soundtrack, in my opinion, is Hannah Montana 3. A lot of people give Hannah Montana 3 like a bad name because Hannah Montana 3, I believe, was the lull of Hannah Montana when it came to the show. But the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack is amazing. The next best soundtrack is Hannah Montana 2. And if you include Meet Miley Cyrus, which I did, but if you include it doesn't. Who's gonna compete? That's why I didn't even want to put Meet Miley Cyrus in this, because no one can compete with Hannah Montana 2 once you throw in Meet Miley Cyrus. Like, it's just a chop. Like, it's just excellent. So Hannah Montana 2 as a standalone, second best. Excellent top to bottom. You can't, 1 in a million. Nobody's perfect. Like Rockstar. Like, it's just top to bottom excellence. My next one will be the original Hannah Montana soundtrack. Now, the original Hannah Montana soundtrack, y'all remember back in those days, everyone tried to have a singing career. So at the end of the original Hannah Montana soundtrack, you're gonna get a bunch of like randoms coming in, like thinking they gonna have a music career. But if you ignore that, the first 8 songs, I believe, 9 songs are all Hannah Montana. And excellent top to bottom. Third to me will be Hannah Montana Forever. Now, don't sleep on Hannah Montana Forever. There's a song with Sheryl Crow on Hannah Montana Forever. I think it's called Need a Little Love or something like that, child. I don't remember. Remember, Gonna Get This is on my favorite of the top 10 list. Top 10 list with guys. Need a Little Love. That's what it's called. And also, I'll Always Remember You. And then, see, this shows you I'm a Hannah Montana stan. If you got the Apple Music version, so the Apple iTunes was selling a different version of Hannah Montana Forever. There's a song called Wherever You Go. So good. So good. But it's not on the original. Like, you have to get the, like, you go listen to it on Apple Music if you want to get Wherever You Go, because it's not on anything else. It was an Apple exclusive, I believe. Why do I remember that? I just do. I don't know. But yes, Wherever You Go is excellent. So those would be my rankings. But Hannah Montana, 15 years of Hannah Montana. I was bumping to Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana premiered when I was in the 3rd grade. When I was in the 3rd grade, Hannah Montana premiered, and the rest was history. I remember being in 5th grade when Hannah Montana came to my city. I could not go because those tickets were so expensive. My family was not about to spend their life savings on me to go to the Hannah Montana Meet Miley Cyrus concert, even though I wanted to go so bad. Like, all the little girls in my school whose parents were rich, they got to go, and I felt like such a loser. But looking back, like, she was a phenomenon. She was the moment. People were putting on heels and standing outside and running around to get their kids tickets. Like, she was the moment. Like, if Miley were to revive the Hannah Montana like thing, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine going to a Hannah concert. I would live. I would honest to God live. So yes, I am a Hannah Montana stan. Before I was a Miley stan, I was 100% a Hannah Montana stan. All of my family knows this. All of my family. Like, I was the one Hannah Montana comes on at Friday night. Like, I was tuned in. I got every single album. Like, I was a stan. I was a stan before I knew what being a stan was. Like, I loved Hannah. I loved Hannah. And let's not mention, like, all the mess they used to give Miley for not being, like, age appropriate. Now the kids can do whatever they want because Miley opened the floodgates for these hoes. But anyways, I love you guys so much. If you guys would like to see more of me, go to my Patreon, which is As Told by Kenya. Go to my Instagram, which is As Told by Kenya _, and I'll see you guys in the next one.